The misclassification. The central archives of the Galactic Union pulsed with data streams, countless civilizations categorized and monitored across thousands of star systems. In a small cubicle nestled among rows of identical workstations, junior analyst Veran adjusted his optical implants and sighed. His slate-gray skin glimmered under the artificial lights as he scrolled through the file before him. System 429, Planet 3. Local designation: Earth, he muttered, reading the classification summary. Current status: harmless. Technological level: pre-FTL. Threat assessment: negligible. The three-dimensional hologram of Earth rotated slowly before him, a small blue world with scattered landmasses and vast oceans. Veran had been reviewing routine classification updates for 12 cycles, a tedious but necessary task in the vast bureaucracy of the Union. Most assessments were simple confirmations, rubber-stamping existing designations based on standardized metrics. Earth should have been no different, yet something about the data troubled him. Computer, display technological development timeline for Earth species human. Veran instructed, his four-fingered hand moving deftly across the interface. The display shifted, showing a progression chart. What Veran saw made his breathing passages constrict. The development curve was unlike anything in the standard archives, where most species followed predictable patterns, thousands of years between major technological leaps. Humans had compressed their development exponentially. From basic flight to orbit in one generation. Veran whispered. Atomic energy to global information networks in mere decades. He expanded the weapons development subsection, his brow ridges rising in alarm. The progression from basic explosives to planet-killing capabilities had occurred in less than a century. Most concerning was their pattern of innovation, chaotic, unpredictable, driven by competition, rather than the careful consensus model followed by most successful spacefaring species. Senior Analyst Krell needs to see this, Veran decided. The central chamber of the Classification Authority was a cavernous space where thousands of analysts worked in synchronized harmony. Senior Analyst Krell's elevated platform marked his superior status, his withered blue skin and extra set of optical implants indicating his centuries of service. Junior Analyst Veran. Krell's voice carried a note of impatience. Your quarterly review isn't scheduled for another 2 cycles. Forgive the interruption, Senior, Veran bowed respectfully, but I found anomalies in the Earth classification that require immediate attention. Krell's secondary eyes narrowed. Earth? That backwater world in the unaligned sectors. Yes, Senior. Their development pattern violates all standard models. They've achieved in centuries what took other species millennia. More concerning, they show unprecedented adaptability and innovation rates, particularly in weaponry and computing. Krell gestured impatiently. Show me. Veran projected his findings onto Krell's workspace. The senior analyst studied the data briefly before waving a dismissive hand. This is within acceptable variation parameters. Earth remains correctly classified as harmless. They haven't even left their own solar system. But Senior, if we extrapolate their development curve. Extrapolation is not classification. Junior Analyst. Krell interrupted. We deal in current assessments, not theoretical futures. Earth has no FTL capability, no unified planetary government, and spends most of its resources on internal conflicts. The classification stands. Veran hesitated. With respect, Senior, I request a formal review notation be added to their file. Krell's skin darkened with annoyance. Denied. You're overstepping your authority. Return to your duties. That evening, Veran stayed late, long after most analysts had departed. What he was about to do violated protocol, but his instincts screamed that the standard metrics were failing to capture something essential about Earth. With quick, furtive movements, he attached a personal notation to Earth's file. Wo Arning. Standard metrics may not apply. Species demonstrates unprecedented adaptation rates and technological acceleration. Recommend caution in any contact scenario. He knew the notation would likely be purged during the next automated review, but perhaps someone would notice. Perhaps someone would take it seriously. He was wrong. The notation was deleted within hours by an automated cleanup algorithm that flagged unauthorized modifications. Earth remained classified as harmless. 5 cycles later, the diplomatic vessel Harmonious Exchange slipped into Earth orbit, its advanced cloaking systems rendering it invisible to human detection. Ambassador Lyrell stood on the observation deck, her emerald skin shimmering with anticipation. "Beautiful world," she remarked to her assembled team. "The Union Council has authorized first contact following standard harmless class protocols. Our mission is cultural exchange and basic technological assessment. Remember, these humans are primitive but potentially valuable allies." Security Officer Morton, a stocky centurion with reinforced exoskeletal plates, reviewed the briefing materials with professional detachment. "Ambassador, these protocols seem insufficient. Human history shows persistent violent tendencies. I recommend additional security measures." Lyrell dismissed his concerns with a graceful wave. "The classification is clear, Officer. Earth is harmless. We follow standard protocols." The landing site had been carefully selected, a spacious clearing near a major human governance center called the United Nations. The diplomatic team had sent ahead transmissions explaining their peaceful intentions and requesting a meeting with planetary representatives. When the ship's doors opened, Lyrell was momentarily overwhelmed by the sensory assault. Thousands of humans gathered behind barriers, their voices creating a deafening roar. Countless recording devices pointed at the vessel. A small group of formally dressed humans approached, led by a stern-faced woman with silver-streaked hair. "On behalf of the people of Earth, I welcome you," the woman said, her words translated perfectly through Lyrell's neural implant. "I am Secretary General Helena Chen. I am Ambassador Lyrell of the Galactic Union," she replied, performing the formal greeting gesture. "We come in peace and friendship." The initial ceremonies proceeded exactly as the protocols predicted: speeches, symbolic exchanges, carefully choreographed interactions designed to ease first contact anxiety. The humans appeared appropriately awed and respectful, just as the classification had suggested they would be. It was during the private diplomatic sessions that the first warning signs appeared. "We are primarily interested in cultural exchange," Lyrell explained to the panel of human representatives. "Understanding your art, philosophy, social structures." Secretary General Chen smiled politely. "Of course, cultural exchange is valuable. But surely technology exchange would benefit both our peoples. Your propulsion systems alone could help us solve our planetary resource crisis. Advanced medical technologies would save countless lives," added another representative. "And defensive capabilities," a military official noted, "in case there are other, less friendly spacefaring species." Lyrell carefully explained the Union's non-interference policies regarding developing civilizations. The humans nodded understanding, but each session inevitably circled back to technology transfer, regardless of how she redirected the conversation. On the third day, Officer Morton approached her in the privacy of the landing craft. "Ambassador, security scans have detected unusual activity around our vessel's perimeter." "Perhaps they're simply curious," Lyrell suggested. "Curiosity doesn't explain the electromagnetic anomalies we're detecting," Morton insisted. "Someone is actively scanning our systems." Before Lyrell could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Morton immediately pulled up security feeds on a nearby screen. 6 humans in dark clothing had somehow entered the engine compartment, methodically examining components. How did they bypass the outer hull? Lyrell gasped. "Unknown." Morton activated emergency protocols, deploying containment measures. On the screen, shimmering energy barriers materialized around the intruders, standard non-lethal technology for securing unauthorized visitors until diplomatic resolution. What happened next defied all expectations. One of the humans produced a small device that emitted a specific frequency pulse. The nearest containment field flickered and collapsed. The others quickly produced similar devices, disabling the remaining fields. "Impossible," Morton whispered. "That containment technology has never been shared with any pre-FTL civilization." "Evacuate now," Lyrell ordered, suddenly understanding the danger. "All personnel to emergency positions." The diplomatic team scrambled to their stations as Morton engaged secondary security measures. By the time they reached the bridge, the intruders had retreated from the ship, taking nothing visible with them. As the vessel lifted off, ignoring the protests of the official human delegation, a quick system scan confirmed Lyrell's fears. They accessed the auxiliary propulsion schematics, the technical officer reported, and the quantum field stabilizer design. They didn't take physical components, but they definitely captured the data. Lyrell's hands trembled as she opened the emergency communication channel to the Union Council. "This is Ambassador Lyrell requesting priority transmission. Earth requires immediate reclassification. I repeat, immediate reclassification. They have demonstrated capabilities far beyond their official designation and have compromised Union technology. We are returning to orbit now." As the ship accelerated away from Earth, Lyrell stared at the planet growing smaller beneath them. "How did they neutralize our containment fields?" "The technology required to counter those systems is centuries beyond Earth's official development stage." Unless, she realized with a chill, they had encountered Union technology before. The reckoning. Senior Investigator Norrin stepped off the transport vessel onto the Union's high orbital station, his dark uniform marking him as a member of the Elite Assessment Division. Unlike most Union species with their colorful appearances, Norrin was deliberately nondescript. Gray skin, minimal sensory appendages, the kind of face easily forgotten. In his profession, anonymity was an advantage. "Special Investigator." The station commander greeted him with a formal salute. "Your team has been assigned maximum clearance. All requested equipment has been prepared." Norrin nodded once. "The Council's urgency is noted. We begin immediately." The investigation chamber was a large circular room lined with data terminals. Three-dimensional projections of Earth hung in the center, rotating slowly. 5 analysts were already at work, sorting through information streams. "Preliminary assessment is underway," reported Taylor, Norrin's assistant. "The diplomatic incident has been fully documented. The Council wants answers, not documentation," Norrin said, studying the floating image of Earth. This planet was classified as harmless for 50 cycles. Now suddenly they're neutralizing our containment fields and copying quantum technology. I need to understand how. "Where should we begin?" Taylor asked. "Information." Norrin moved to the central console. "I need complete access to all human communications, cultural transmissions, military exchanges, everything. No filters." Tella's expression showed concern. "That would violate several privacy protocols for developing species." "The Council has granted emergency override authorization." Norrin entered his access codes. "We need to understand how they think." For the next 14 days, Norrin immersed himself in human data. His team intercepted and analyzed communications from every nation on Earth. They studied entertainment broadcasts, military transmissions, scientific publications, and personal communication networks. They examined historical records, technological developments, cultural patterns. On the 15th day, Norrin called his team together. "Report your findings." "Humans are technologically inconsistent," began the first analyst. "They've developed quantum computing but still use combustion engines. They've mapped their genome but haven't cured basic diseases. It's as if they pursue technology based on interest rather than logical progression." "Their social structures are equally contradictory," added another. "They simultaneously cooperate and compete at every level, from individuals to nations. They can be extraordinarily altruistic or ruthlessly selfish, often within the same individual. Most concerning is their approach to obstacles," Tella said. "When faced with limitations, most species accept them or work around them. Humans instinctively try to break through them. They don't recognize impossibility as a concept. Norin nodded slowly. And what of the containment field countermeasures? How do they develop technology to neutralize systems they've never encountered? That's where it gets interesting. Tella brought up new displays. We've detected traces of Union technology on Earth. Debris from a scout ship that crashed 80 cycles ago in a region called Roswell. The ship was listed as lost in a gravitational anomaly. The humans recovered it. One crashed ship doesn't explain their capabilities, Norin countered. No, but this might. Tella projected images of various human technological devices. They don't just copy technology, they reimagine it. They took basic principles from the crashed ship and applied them in ways our engineers never considered. Where we see established application, they see potential. Their thinking is fundamentally different. Norin was silent for a long moment, revised the classification immediately. Category: potentially threatening. Recommend quarantine until full assessment. But it was already too late. 6 months after the diplomatic incident, Earth's first FTL vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. The Union observation post detected it immediately, sending urgent alerts throughout the command chain. Admiral Corres of the Union Defense Fleet received the news with grim resignation. How is this possible? Our analysts projected at least a decade before they could develop functional FTL drive. It appears their progress has been accelerated, his aide replied carefully. Corres studied the tactical display. The human vessel was small, clearly a prototype, but its emergence from hyperspace had been precisely calculated, a remarkable achievement for a first attempt. More concerning were the energy signatures the sensors detected. The ship's defenses incorporated modified versions of Union technology, undoubtedly derived from the stolen data. Deploy Containment Squadron Alpha, Corres ordered. Standard first contact quarantine procedures. Let's see how they respond. 20 Union vessels materialized around the human ship, forming a perfect containment pattern. Admiral Corres opened communications. Attention Earth vessel. This is Admiral Corres of the Galactic Union Defense Fleet. Your unauthorized interstellar travel violates Union protocols. Power down your systems and prepare for escort back to your solar system. The response came almost immediately, in perfect Union standard language. This is Captain Ileana Chen of the Earth vessel Pathfinder. We acknowledge your presence but reject your authority to restrict our movement. We are conducting peaceful exploration in accordance with the principles of scientific discovery. Corres was taken aback by the confidence in the human's voice. Captain Chen, your species has not been granted interstellar travel rights. Return to Earth immediately, or we will be forced to take action. Admiral. Chen's voice remained calm. We've been monitoring Union communications since your diplomatic mission. We're aware of our reclassification. We're also aware that Union protocols prohibit aggressive action against developing civilizations unless they pose an immediate threat. We pose no such threat. You've stolen Union technology, Corres countered. You've violated our most sacred laws. We've adapted principles we discovered, Chen corrected. Knowledge cannot be stolen, Admiral. It can only be shared or withheld. Your Union chose to withhold. We chose to learn. Before Corres could respond, his tactical officer interrupted urgently. Admiral, we're detecting energy signatures from Earth's solar system, hundreds of them. They're deploying the defensive fleet. The tactical display updated, showing a wave of vessels emerging from behind Earth's moon, a hidden armada. Each ship was smaller than standard Union vessels, but incorporated elements of the stolen technology, modified and reimagined in unpredictable ways. Impossible, Corres whispered. How could they build so many ships so quickly? Admiral, Captain Chen's voice returned. We propose a different approach. Earth wishes to join the Galactic Union as equals, not as a harmless classified species. We bring unique perspectives, innovative thinking, and yes, a different approach to obstacles. We can be valuable allies or persistent adversaries. The choice is yours. The Union Council debated for 7 days. The military faction advocated immediate action, a decisive strike to demonstrate Union authority. The diplomatic corps argued for caution, pointing out the humans had not actually attacked anyone. The scientific division, reviewing the incredible technological leaps humans had made in mere months, quietly suggested that perhaps humans could teach them as much as they could teach humans. In the end, pragmatism prevailed. Earth was officially reclassified as emergent civilization, special status, and granted provisional Union membership with